And truly, I didn't think I had the dedication or the drive or the work ethic to get there. Yeah, honest, I was quite a lazy teenager, if I'm being honest.
Welcome back to the NatWest Business Show. I'm your host, Angellica Bell, and this week we're joined by Alice Deering, a trailblazer in the world of sports and an advocate for diversity and inclusion. Now, Alice is not only an elite swimmer, having represented Great Britain on the international stage, but she's also the co-founder of the Black Swimming Association. Now, this is an organisation dedicated to breaking down barriers and promoting swimming in underrepresented communities. Welcome, Alice.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No, not at all. I'm really looking forward to having our chat because I only learnt to swim later in life, but we'll get to that. Because I want to start off with a business confession of yours.
Okay.
You have to be honest. Now, this could be a moment of failure that became a springboard for success, or a mistake that basically turned out to be a masterstroke. Okay, so let me have it.
Okay, so it's less related to business, I suppose, but more of my athletic career.
Right.
In 2017, I had a rough season.
So you weren't performing?
Yeah, I didn't perform as well as I was expected to. I was set a specific target, didn't meet the target.
Right.
And
that must have been stressful, especially if you got targets.
Yeah, it's just and context as well. I was like 20 years old, so quite young, you know, like you feel like you're way more mature at that age, and you feel like you can obviously handle this pressure as you have to as an athlete. But yeah, of course I wanted to be the best athlete I could be anyway, but then also there was this added pressure of being set a target to finish, I believe it was top 15 or top 10 at World Championships, and I finished 25th. And because of that, I was taken off of funding, so I lost my money to be able to swim, and kicked out of the training group which I was training in at the time. And
so this wasn't just pressure to hit targets, this was basically pressure for your career, money, your goals.
It felt like my swimming career hung in the balance of those two things, being able to access them, basically. You know, I got money because to be able to swim, to be a better swimmer, so I didn't have to go and get a job. I was at university at the time, so managing education and my athletic career was also something that I had to consider. I couldn't get a job on top of that if I wanted. Like, you can't have all three. It's like a triangle. You need to pick which two you're going to have. But yeah, basically that happened to me. I got a phone call telling me that I was out of the training group, and then 10 minutes later I got another phone call from another person telling me that I was off of funding. And I just sat in my room at university and just like started crying. I didn't know what to do. My mum had literally dropped me off that afternoon to start the new season again, and I called her and was like, I'm gonna have to come home. And I don't even think she was home yet. Like, she went home, and I was like, I'll just get the train, like, and I'll come back by myself. Went back and she was like, are you gonna keep swimming? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I really didn't know at that point, because they were the two things which I put my self-belief and my worth on as an athlete, and they were taken away from me very quickly. And I was just like, okay, I need to reassess. So did reassess. Very thankfully, I did get back in the pool. It didn't take me too long to figure it out. I knew that I still wanted to swim. There was still this fire burning within me that I was like, I'm not done with this yet. I need to figure this out. And honestly, whilst it was a decision that I didn't make for myself, obviously I wouldn't have chosen to do those two things to myself. Yeah. I'm very grateful that they did happen, because it put me into a training group which I actually started to thrive in. There was less pressure in that group, got on really well with the coach, and just started to really come into my own and feel confident in myself. And also I realised, like, I wanted to swim because I wanted to swim, not because I had these accolades and benefits of being a swimmer. So it taught me that if you want to do something and you have the means, you will find a way. And I was very grateful that I was able to find my way. And like, I had my mum support me as well with a bit of money, as well as student loan, to be able to get through the swimming season. And then after that swimming season, I was put back on funding again. So it just, yeah, I feel like I proved a point.
Alice, I feel like I've been on a journey already. I literally was like, where is this going? I need some positivity at the end of this conversation, this story.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. I think as well, at the age of 20, like, I haven't really thought about it in the context of the age that I was dealing with that as well. Because at the time, you know, whenever you're in the present, you're as old as you are. Like, that's if that
Yeah,
makes sense? You're dealing with
definitely.
it
Yeah.
with as much maturity as you have in that present moment. And then looking back on it now, I'm like, how did I do that? Yeah. So I'm really fortunate that I had the right people around me to support me,
Yeah.
uplift me, and just carried on with my career and managed to make something positive out of it. Yeah.
So I guess when you have those moments of failure or weakness, it's who's around you
Oh,
and making
massively.
sure that you have the right tools to bring yourself back up.
Massively, yeah. Like I'm sure we'll talk about it again. My mum is just,
Oh,
such a gem, such a rock. Yeah.
that's fantastic. Well, let's go back to the
Mhm.
beginning and talk about where this passion for swimming came from.
So, honestly, kind of again from my mum. We were going through the local Learn to Swim lessons. I started those when I was about 4 years old,
Okay.
and me, I've got two older brothers. So they all did them. I did them myself. And then when I was 8 years old, my mum saw the notice board for the local swimming club, and she put me and the second eldest brother in for those sessions. And I remember just being like, "Why are we doing this? I don't really want to go. Like, I'd rather sit at home and play video games." It was on a Sunday afternoon. I was like, "I'm not interested."
So initially it
Yeah,
wasn't like
was it? No,
this is my
yeah.
calling. It was like,
No. I was like,
why are you dragging me
yeah,
away from my
literally.
home?
I was like, "Why are we doing this?" And she was like, "You need to get out of the house and do a sport." I was like, "Okay." Did the first session and we both fell in love. Like it was fun. I think the competitive element came out in me really quickly. I realized as like looking back now, I was very competitive at school with just little things of like, I want to be on the top table, all that stuff. So having an outlet for that, I think has been really healthy for me, like growing up as a child, adolescence and as an adult. But yeah, it just kind of fell in love with it. And
So you would go on
yeah.
Sundays.
Yeah, I go on Sundays, and it very quickly became Monday morning, Tuesday afternoon. It just progressed so quickly. I was 8 years old when I started it. By 11, I was already swimming like 7 times a week, and then with school on top of that. And there's people being like, "Oh, she's actually really good. She should look at like elite programs." So I ended up in an elite training program at age 11, and then got a scholarship to a private school in Wolverhampton, where I was able to swim before school, go to school, and then swim after school. Then my mum would pick me up,
All
take
the
me home.
facilities were on site.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good. Shout out to Royal Wolverhampton School. Like really, really helped nurture me. Had a really good experience there, and then went to university, studied politics, and then did a master's in social media and political communication at Loughborough University. And education has been like a key part with my swimming career for the longest time because it just it kind of facilitated doing everything basically, going to school, and then I was like, okay, well, I'll use swimming to get into university. And the way I always viewed swimming was, let's just take from it what I can get. Like, I didn't expect to go to the Olympics. There was never that aim or goal as a child. I looked at the top and I thought it was unattainable. You
Right.
see these,
Why? Why did you think that?
um,
Because
I,
you said you were competitive, so I'm
yes,
quite surprised by
yeah.
that.
I think I'm just very realistic with how hard it is, and sometimes I can be quite. I think as athletes are, we're very judgmental of our own performances. We're our own worst critics, and truly, I didn't think I had the dedication or the drive or the work ethic to get there. Yeah, true. Honest, I was quite a lazy teenager, if I'm being honest. Like going through swimming, I got by on talent for quite a few years. But I'm actually quite grateful I did take that approach in the end because I think if I was dialed into it from a very early age, that burnout can happen so quickly. And then you
Yeah.
get to 19, 20 years old and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. But that was the point where I started to actually feel like, no, I'm choosing to do this now rather than just having it supplement everything else.
So would you say having options is something you would advocate and
Mm,
you would give as advice?
absolutely. For any athletes out there that are listening, you please don't put all of your eggs into one basket with your sport. It's dangerous. I'm gonna be quite blunt and honest. Injury, burnout, your coach moving, something small that seems insignificant can really have like a ripple effect on your career. And before you know it, you might have lost your funding or your sponsorship or something like that. And I know it sounds really negative, and I don't wish that on any athlete. We all want to be the best and do our best, but even if it's just like a coaching course or I don't know, a photography course or something that you're interested in outside of your sport, nurture that as much as you can within reason and just keep options open for yourself.
Great advice. Okay. Now, you were the first Black female swimmer to represent Team GB. It was in 2021.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, Tokyo.
At the Olympics then. Can you pinpoint a particular moment that it felt like your defining moment of success?
I think when I touched the finish pad to qualify for the Olympics, that was just like, oh, I can't believe I've done this. Like, I could get emotional about it. Just like I said, I really never thought I'd get that far to, be swimming at World Championships, European Championships, swimming for Britain, and then really finally have that opportunity to qualify for the Olympics, especially after everything that happened with COVID and will they, won't they happen, the Olympics. It was a crazy time. So when I finally got the opportunity to qualify, it was only about 6 weeks before the games itself. Actually, it was a very short window to actually turn around and then go to the games. But touching that finish pad and knowing that I had been able to achieve that and help create history, hopefully show that more people like us can do this sport, we should do this sport. It's a life-saving skill. Just like hopefully representing Britain and my community as good as I can.
Yeah, because for someone like me who I've always watched the Olympics, I've always watched the swimming as well, but always thought, I'm not getting in a pool. Well, someone who was encouraged to swim, and I only learned to swim as an adult. To see someone from my community doing it, it's like, oh my gosh,
Oh, thank you.
it's massive.
Yeah.
And you must have felt that and known that.
I did, yeah. I tried not to think about it too much. It was something that drove me, and I was like, how can I lose with all these people on my side? Like kind of a confidence thing, but then at the same time, I was like, you need to stay grounded because you still need to work. Like this is not going to come to you easy. No one's going to give you anything. You have to work for it. But having that upliftment and that power from so many people who I think just wanted to see me do my best and shine. It's been really special, yeah.
Amazing. Well, again, we'll touch on this, but I want to just explore a bit more about you moving on from swimming and retirement, because you have said that it was a bit of an anxious time.
Yes.
What happened? When did you say, that's it, I'm moving on from this? How did that process happen?
So I've always known that Paris 2024 was going to be like my at the end of my swimming career as in that guise. I unfortunately didn't qualify for it in December. Just qualification didn't go my way. I've always been really fortunate that it did go my way. Like every other time before that, it's been a positive experience qualifying. But this one time it didn't. And sport, that's the beauty and the ugly side of sport. It's just it was someone's great day, and for me it was one of the worst days in my career, and you just have to take that and you have to deal with that. So in that moment I decided, okay, there's nothing else that I want to get from swimming in this, like currently in this, like as a competitive athlete. LA's too far away. I've got other things that I want to do with my life. The Olympics I felt like was the only thing really driving me. There's World Championships and European Championships, which are absolutely amazing achievements to swim at, but that wasn't my driving goal. The Olympics was. So decided to call it.
And so you decided to make the announcement in that April.
Mm-hmm.
And then how did you feel then? Did you have a plan? Did you think, right, what am I going to do? It's out there.
Yeah, no, it suddenly felt very permanent making that announcement. It was like, it really dawned on me like, oh wow, it is actually over now. Like I at least had those few months where I was like, I was still living my life, but there wasn't people could tell because I got braids. People could tell because I got braids. I got my hair done. I traveled to Tokyo. I was enjoying my life. And
what do you mean? They just thought she's not swimming anymore?
Yeah, it's because
you've got braids.
Yeah, no, honestly, yeah. It's one of those things like it's just I wouldn't swim with a hairstyle like this personally. Like not 10 times a week. I'll get in the water like once or twice a week with my hair like this. I'm just saying, ladies, do not let that stop you. Honestly, I will swim with hair like this, but we're talking like professional athlete 10 times a week. It was too much. So I'd always have like natural hairstyle, stitch braids or something like that. But like when it was, for me, I felt like it was obvious that I'd retired or finished swimming or like was taking some kind of break. But then I made the announcement and I had a lot of positive energy from it. It was really nice. And just being able to move on in a healthy way. And like I was getting asked questions like, how's things going? I'm like, I'm absolutely loving my life. Like I genuinely really enjoy my life. I'm getting to meet really cool people exploring the world, having time to do all the things that I'm like, okay, not now. I've got to focus on swimming. So it's nice to have those options and opportunities. Yeah.
So did you have a plan? Did you know what was going to be next for you?
Truly, in December, not really. It happened, and there were ideas that I had in my head that I was like, okay, well, let's start executing these now. Let's start making these happen now, because I obviously intended to qualify for the Olympics. So I was kind of like, I'll deal with that once I've qualified, and then we can start having those conversations with myself and my agent, my mum, my fiance. But then it happens in December, and I was like, called my agent, called Deji, and was like, we need to, it didn't happen for me. And he was like, okay, don't worry. I was like, we need to pivot right now. And so started having conversations. The idea of SWYM, which I'm sure we'll come on to in a moment, was kind of born from those conversations, that there's something that I've wanted to do in swimming for a long time.
Well, this is a great place to bring it in, because you're a big part of both the Black Swimming
Yes.
Association as well as SWYM, which you've just mentioned. Explain to us what they both do.
Okay, so the Black Swimming Association, the BSA, is a charity which I was a co-founder of. It is to advocate for the water safety and inclusion of Black and ethnic minorities in aquatics. I was going to say in swimming, but in aquatics, because swimming is one small part of aquatics. And it's basically to raise awareness, have research, partnering with national governing bodies to get more of our community swimming, but mostly about the safety, because there are some very sad drowning statistics which surround our communities, and just making sure that everyone is safe in and around water, that there is equal access, and that people know that they can swim, and that it is actually it is something we are physically capable of. There shouldn't be anything stopping you from doing that. So that's the BSA. It's going really well. It's 4.5 years old now, which I can't believe. We have employees, which is like a crazy thing to say. Like, there are people who we employ, which is and it just came from a WhatsApp group of 4 disgruntled Black people who were looking at the swimming, the shape of swimming as it was happening for our communities, and just needed something to change. And we were like, well, who not rather than us? So it's going really well. And then SWYM, which means Swim With Your Meaning, is a new commercial project which I have just founded in the past few months. And it is to bring swimming to people in ways that it's meaningful for them. So I think in some instances, swimming has been seen as something inaccessible or not for us. Like, it's not brought to people in a way in which that they can relate to it. And so I think there's an opportunity around the world in every city to have people embrace water, embrace swimming in a personal sense, and help them discover what it means for them personally.
Okay, so SWYM is a business.
Yes, SWYM is a business, yes.
For profit.
Yes.
And obviously the BSA is charity.
Yes.
To spread the word. So let's talk about the BSA. And I mean, you touched on it there. And it's interesting because I remember I've been told in the past, oh, you won't be a very good swimmer because you're Black, and you know, your bones are denser. There's quite a lot of, I heard all these sort of things. Your bones are denser, so you're going to sink.
Yes.
So you're not going to fly in the water. So I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, and you just
plus with the hair and all this, I was like, I'm fine. I'll just stay out of it. And then it was like, actually, I need to do a bit of research for myself, especially having children and wanting to do fun things with them and encourage them to take on new sports. Well, I guess you've got that sort of social responsibility aspect with that. And like you said, to get that out there in the community.
Absolutely. And the BSA is literally working on research starting this month on disproving the whole bone density float thing.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah. If you want, I could try and put you in on it if you'd be interested in helping out our cause. But if obviously there's no pressure. But
no, I'd love to, because I've seen the benefits. I mean, I love it. You come on the podcast and you're like, Angellica, I'm just going to recruit you. I'm here for you, Alice.
Oh, thank you. No, honestly, because it's just letting people know that we can float and that we can swim. And honestly, I've swum at the Olympics. I swim the longest event, and just looking to debunk all of that, basically.
So, what are the barriers between people of colour and swimming? Let's list them. So, why people think we can't do it?
Okay, so financial is a big one. Obviously, this affects more than just people of colour. It can affect anyone, any community. But as we see, like statistically, certain of our communities are potentially more impoverished, and so access to swimming pools can be difficult. Getting to a swimming pool in the first place, if you've got to pay a bus fare, or if it's like a 5-mile walk away, and also for families as well. If you want to go to the cinema, or if you're picking cinema or swimming, you might pick cinema, and that's understandable. So the financial ones there too. Hair, as you've touched on, for Black women, it is difficult, and it's often been something that's kind of been like laughed at or ridiculed or like put down because of vanity and things like that. But it's a very valid issue because it's part of our identity, it's part of our pride, it's who we are, we own it, and it's absolutely beautiful to see the like plethora of ways in which women wear their hair, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But it can be difficult to swim with it, and let's not lie. So for me, I was, like I said, I was swimming like 10 times a week. I always had my hair natural. It made it easier that way. Like cornrows, stitch braids, kept it simple. But I promise you, if you're out there watching this and you're thinking, I don't want to swim because of my hair, please, you can find a way to do it. It is possible. It is achievable. I really want to say, just don't let that hold you back, because what you can get from swimming is so positive and so nice that I think it will be worth managing your hair in a different way once a week. I promise you, it's worth it. Yeah.
Alice, is there a space in the market for a product or service to help bridge the gap, this big gap for people of colour?
I definitely think there is. So, for example, we've seen a growth in large hair swimming caps, and there's a brand which I collaborate with who create hats for longer hair, for thicker hair, which anyone and everyone can use, because there are like Caucasian people, white people who still needed bigger hats as well, and it's still very useful for everybody. In terms of me, myself personally, will I be venturing into that? Probably not anytime soon. I'm definitely looking at, I suppose, more service side of things, product. It's not something that I'm like super like interested in at the moment. I think there's a lot of amazing stuff out there in swimming, which I don't want to venture into yet. It's complicated. There's a lot of stuff in there, but services definitely. Making things curated to our communities is the main thing, and that's what SWYM with Your Meaning is looking to do, to take it to people how they will want to engage with it.
Alice, we're going to change tact now,
Okay.
because we're going to have a little section called Trending Takes. So I'm going to hit you with some statements that are out there online, and you've got to tell me if you agree with it or just give me your viewpoint on it. Okay? So number 1, public figures have a duty to represent their community.
Okay, yeah. I would say, honestly, I think no, I don't. Like I said, a duty, it's a lot of pressure on people. If you want to speak about these topics, go for it, have those conversations. But at the same time, it's hard. You're putting yourself out there. You open yourself up to criticism, to trolls, to potential hate. Of course, you open yourself up to love and people to uplift at the same time. And yes, we do need people to have these conversations, otherwise nothing moves forward. But I'm just trying to say it's okay to protect yourself.
Athletes should stay in their lane. I didn't write this. I just say.
I love that. Yeah, no, I hear this was really interesting, because I do hear it a lot, and I'm just like, but I don't know. I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know if I'm staying in my lane, but I'm talking about swimming. But then I'm talking about, like, I suppose a social political context of Black people in swimming and the cultural issues that we're facing. And God forbid I ever stayed in my lane, because the thought of that just doesn't sit right with me as I am. Like, if I see something wrong, I feel like I need to speak about it. If I get the opportunity to speak about it, I'm going to speak about it. So yeah, personally for me, absolutely not.
You can't make a profit and help a cause.
No, that's not right, is it? Surely not. Well, there will be many, many companies out there that have turned profits and helped causes, but I have it very much in my mind that I will be turning a profit and making a positive change to the world with it.
I mean, they're quite debatable.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Like, this is
statements,
yeah.
In fact, if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, please do get involved. Just put your comments down, because we'd like to know what you think of these trending takes. Let's talk about the vision of SWYM now,
Mhm.
and talk us through the importance of it being based in Ghana,
Yes.
and the ambition to make it global, because
Yes.
you're
Yeah, I've got big aspirations.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so SWYM, it has been launched in Ghana. It's the birthplace of my mum. So she's Ghanaian, born in Accra. She used to swim in the sea a lot. And I've never been. It was my first time going, actually. I've always wanted to go.
When was that? When was your first time?
May, just gone,
Yeah.
very recent, yeah. And always wanted to go. And I've always felt like I needed to give something back to swimming, but also to Ghana, because it's given me my mum. She's done everything for me.
And
She's,
you love your mum.
I love my mum so much. I really do. I had to say bye to her today, and I was like waving for the taxi. Bye, mum. She's so sweet. She really, really has done the most for me, and it's going to see her people, see where she was brought up. It was a really nice, like, homecoming moment for me. I'm getting a bit emotional, sorry.
No, that's lovely.
And I was texting her, like, I didn't feel like I could feel closer to you, but I do now, because I've got to see how you were,
Where you're
like,
from,
like your
your
people,
people, how you grew up.
literally. And my uncle, actually, I didn't really reach out to any family over there, because it's just been a bit disconnected. But he actually saw me on the TV, because I was doing I was doing like a press tour, and he saw me on the TV and came out to the launch day of SWYM to just support me. And he's been texting me. He's been absolutely lovely, and it's nice to have had that reconnection with a home that I didn't realize was a home, basically, until I went there and was like, actually, no, this feels really natural to me and really
So for you,
special.
it was different layers. Personally, you got something from
Yes.
it.
Yeah. And
Your
then,
your business.
yes, yeah, being able to start SWYM there has been absolutely amazing. I'll just detail what we're doing there at the
Yeah.
moment. So we've partnered with a school called Achimota School. We are paying for 15 students and 5 members of staff to learn to swim over 10 weeks. And 2 swimming teachers from Accra or from Ghana are providing those swimming lessons for us. And we've been getting updates from them. They're absolutely loving it. The smiles that we see from these people in the water, it's absolutely beautiful. And this is kind of one essence of SWYM, where it's going to have this learn to swim. And in certain communities, this is going to be much more relevant. So whilst we still need learn to swim in London and in the UK, in Accra and in Ghana specifically, there's like quite a big gap where we just need more people to know about swimming, to know that they can swim, to get access to pools, to have swimming costumes, swimming hats, and that available to them.
So almost like the basic things.
Exactly, yeah. So we're starting with the basics in Ghana, but then also in London, we're looking at launching a SWYM London, and that's going to take different shape, where it's going to be more of a holistic based exercise, where it'll be like a shorter time frame, but still getting people in the water, experiencing what it is like to swim, and having those opportunities, but also bringing nutrition into it, breathing workshops, S&C, so like basic, like what you can do on land to keep yourself fit, basically to show people that there is time in their week to carve out something for themselves, and hopefully it can be swimming for them, and giving them that opportunity to discover that swimming can be that thing that they can invest time in, to invest back into themselves. Yeah.
I mean, you've got plans. And I can
Yes.
see
Yeah.
there's loads of communities around the world globally that need
Could
to
benefit. Yes.
benefit from
Yeah.
this. So how are you finding integrating this social responsibility, and what you touched about really passionately and emotionally about giving something back, with, growing your business and having that business practice and focusing on making a profit?
Yes. Yeah. So okay, this is the thing. It's of course needs to make a profit. We'd love to partner with people to deliver these programs around the world, and be able to just uplift communities in a way, and touch people that wouldn't have had these opportunities otherwise. But social responsibility, I think, is just maybe innate in me. It's just like naturally how I've benefited so much from swimming. It has given me like basically everything in my life that I can call my own. And the fact that there are people out there who haven't had access, haven't had opportunities, just like it just doesn't seem right to me, because I've been able to benefit from it so much. So I'm like, other people surely can get, like, if it's just a fraction of what I've been able to get, then that's amazing. Even if it's just learning to swim so they can go to the beach with their family, or go in the pool and not feel terrified of going towards the deep end. those are little wins which I really think can help change someone's life and give them something more from life.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to help people access those opportunities. And I think the way that business is going in the world at the moment, there is more social responsibility conscious minds out there looking at opportunities and seeing how they can enrich someone's life, but also, of course, make a profit and keep the world a happier place because of it.
I guess also this links and ties into sort of like your education, the ideology. Social policy did you do? Or
Yeah, I did politics and then political communication. Yeah.
So I guess all those, you can bring
Yeah.
all those elements in.
Yes.
And see the benefits and has a knock-on effect.
Mhm.
Now, being a co-founder is challenging. We know that. But how are you finding working in a team as a co-founder when swimming is such a solo pursuit?
I think I'm adapting well to it. Yeah, it has been interesting. I've learned a lot. Like I've never been good at reading between the lines with things because coaches, for example, in I think most sports, it's a blunt environment. You know, if something's not good enough, you're told it's not good enough. There's no, oh, we'll do a performance review. There's none of that. There's no like corporate business talk. You know, it's ugly and it's straight to the point. And I've just been learning to read between the lines of conversations and stuff, and I picking up on tones and stuff like that. And I'm not saying this is not all negative at all. Like it's just my naivety, basically, especially coming out of elite sport. But it has been really good. I think working in a team, getting to learn people's different perspectives, where they've came from, why they think like that. It's always so powerful. And I've always said a diverse table with different thoughts, different opinions, different walks of life, you're only going to get like a more positive result because not everyone has lived the same life. Even twins have not lived the same life.
Right.
So we can all learn from each other. And I've been really fortunate with that with the BSA.
So what would you say to people who feel pressure to represent people who look and sound like themselves? Because you talked about how when, you got into that pool and you qualified in 2021, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many people from different walks of life for different reasons supporting you. That's a lot. So how can one deal with that pressure?
I'd say if you don't want to deal with that pressure, I don't think you should have to deal with it. It's okay to take a step back. You're a human being. You need to look after yourself. In a very blunt way, you don't owe anybody anything. I felt like I wanted to do this and have these conversations, and I initially, no one came and was like questioning me about being a black swimmer. I initially went and started having these conversations in public, and very fortunately had a really nice response from it that people wanted to hear more. And I took it upon myself because I felt like I wanted to try and change something. Not everyone has that in them, and that's fine. That's not a criticism on these people. It's okay. It like first and foremost, I was an athlete. The first thing I should be thinking about was my performance, and it always was. But at the same time, I thought, well, if I can help change swimming and my communities for a more positive whilst I go, I might as well try. And I have to say that phrase "standing on the shoulder of giants" is really true and relevant to my story because there have been so many Black sporting icons who have spoken out about issues in the past, both in their career but also afterwards as well. I think Dame Kelly Holmes is a very good example of that. And having those people who have kind of broken through those kind of uncomfortable conversations and controversial topics in public really allowed me to be like, okay, people are having these conversations. I can put my voice in. I can hopefully help create positive change.
So with this mission, because I'm going to call it a mission.
Yeah, it's a mission.
Yeah.
It's a mission, yeah.
Where do you see yourself as a businesswoman 10 years time? Do you want SWYM to grow and also your work with the BSA?
Massively.
To grow, yeah?
Yes, massively. I mean, I have this aspiration. It's not going to happen in my lifetime, but I want everybody to be able to swim around the world. And I think everyone should have access to be able to learn to swim. It is a life-saving skill. The sea levels are rising, floods. There are a lot of sad reasons why we should learn to swim, besides the fact that it's a beautiful sport and it can help you access so much more in life. So that is my goal with it. With SWYM, or Swim With Your Meaning, that I've got aspirations of like having swim pools, having events around the world, having a community in which you can hop to another city and there'll be a swim event on there that you can meet other people from that community and area and learn what they're doing, learn how learn what swimming means to them in that community, because every city has its own vibe, its own culture, and I just want to emulate those cultures with swimming in those cities, if that makes sense. Yeah.
So you've got goals.
I
You've
have
got
got
your goals for your
goals.
business.
Yeah.
You're starting out and you're just going for it.
I'm going for it. Yeah, it's very young. It's like, oh my God, I've only just incorporated the business like 1 week ago. So it's like, it's literally like, it's a
You're
baby.
fresh.
Like, it's like
Business
fresh out the womb.
You come on the NatWest Business podcast.
Yeah.
We're loving it.
Yeah, I never thought that this was the way my life or career was going to go. Like the word entrepreneur, I'm just like, ooh, that's a heavy word. Like it's a heavy word. But it's, I don't know, I just think I want to do this, and if that's what it means, then I'm gonna try and take it on, and I'm gonna go for it. Yeah.
Any fears, doubts that you?
It is, yeah. Like yeah, I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie, it's terrifying. You know, I put my name out there. I've been like, I want to do this. I'm putting my money out there. I've invested in this personally myself. It is a little bit terrifying because, you know, what if people are just like, actually, Alice, this is not a good idea or something like that. I think it's a good idea. So I think it's a good idea. And even, you know, just I always say if I'm helping a few people, then that's amazing. And that's why we started quite small with just 20 participants in Ghana, because I don't want this to be something where I was like, yeah, here's all the money that I can throw at it, and then it's unsustainable. And then unfortunately the next year we can't do anything else. Like I want this to steadily grow. I'm taking a very kind of base level mindset at the moment, start small and just grow out, and hopefully find meaningful partners who want to support this and see the worthiness of this cause.
So have you got people helping you at the moment? What's your setup? Just
So it's basically myself and my agent. He's been and the agency at Gateway. They're absolutely amazing. Like shout out to Deji, shout out to Gateway. My fiance is absolutely amazing as well. He's in private equity actually. So I'm just kind of like all of the finance stuff. I'm just like, babe,
help me out with
help
that.
me out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me some advice. I've like the foundations of what I have. It's like fertile ground. Like I really have some of the best people surrounding me that I could have ever wished for. So I'm just gonna take it as it comes, move with every opportunity, and hopefully in like 5-10 years time you'll be like, oh my God, look at it go.
Look at it go. I'll be like, would you like to come back and tell us about it? You're like, I'm too busy.
No, absolutely not. I'll always have time. Always have time.
Okay, it's time to forgive, regret, or forget. So thinking back to your original confession, and now we've gone through your journey, do you want to forgive yourself? Do you regret it or wish to forget it?
Oh man, I'd forgive. I think forgive, but if I could, I'd hug her. Like that little girl that was sat like at her desk at university. I'd be like, wrap my arms around, and be like, babe, it's okay. Like, don't you worry about it. This is part of your journey. It's part of the law. It's part of your story. Like, it's who you are. It's one of those things you don't realize it'll actually be a foundation of the mindset which you take into adulthood. And I think mindsets change often, and you develop and you change into different people, and that's okay. Like I'm not the same person I was when I was 20. I'm 27 at the moment. I probably will change by the time I'm 37, and that's absolutely fine. But forgive, definitely, because she couldn't help swimming bad. She tried her best at the time. And one thing I'll actually say real quick is that my whole aim for my swimming career was never to have any regrets when I finished. Never any big ones anyway. And I'm in a place where I really feel like I can say I don't regret anything. You know, things turn out how they do. And that's life, and you just roll with it. And I've had an amazing career from it.
Boom. We have got some rapid fire questions for you.
Let's go.
Just keep you on your toes, Alice.
Yeah, thing is, I'm as a marathon athlete, there's nothing rapid about me. I'm just like, you're gonna have a good paragraph answer here. Okay. Sorry,
I'm gonna take it because marathon swimming is not easy. So I'm gonna let you off. Who is your business inspiration?
Right. Okay. This is so so cliche, because she's like the athlete inspiration for me as well. But Serena Williams, because I just like, what a boss. Like, I've looked up to her for so long. And do you know the show My Wife and Kids? She did a cameo in My Wife and Kids, like back in like 2002. And I remember seeing it on TV, and I was like, Mum, is that Serena Williams? And she was like, yeah, it is actually. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Like, that was the first time I'd seen a woman athlete having like a moment on TV like that, but not as herself, as like a character in a show. And I was like, oh my God, this is like mind blowing. So I think everything that she's built as an athlete and then into a sportswoman is just like so aspirational or inspiring.
And she knows how to reinvent herself and just be, or not even reinvent herself, because I think she's being her legitimate self.
It's just different sides to her that like she's willing to show us and she's willing to see. And I think she's just so powerful. She's so amazing.
What advice would you give your younger self? You sort of touched on this one.
Yeah, I'd be like, just ride the wave. As cliche as that sounds, ride the wave. You know, you move through it. Hold on. Oh, one thing I definitely will say is try not to waste time with people who you can tell aren't vibing with you. There's nothing wrong with just being like, okay, this isn't working for me. I'm good. But then you'll find those people. And I've realized over the past like 3-4 years, I've really found people who are drawn to me and who genuinely like me. And it's really special to see when you know people actually are rooting for you. And it's really like, oh, okay, yeah.
When you connect.
Yes, you just got that like that vibe and that energy, yeah.
I love that. What do you most enjoy about business?
I enjoy the fact that at the moment it feels very open to me. It feels like whatever I can do, I will go and try and I'll make it happen. The creativity and the ideas, and I'm trying to find the right word. I can't find the right word. It feels like there's a universe open to me at the moment. And I know it might not be like that all the time. Sometimes it'll be very constricted and tight, and it'll be like, you have to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's how things work. But at the moment, as I'm just discovering it, I feel like there's loads of opportunities. Basically, what I'm saying. Yeah.
Favorite work hack?
Oh my God, take a nap.
Really?
Yeah, it's my favorite work hack. Honestly, take a nap, take rest.
Yeah, you've got a good
honestly,
point. I
rest.
never nap.
I feel like I heard you talking about this before. You were like, I don't nap. Maybe that's why it's in my mind because I always nap.
Maybe I'll start napping because then I'll be able to swim like you and be more productive. One tip on how you stay motivated during tough times or setbacks.
So when I was an athlete, it was definitely like the fear of regret when I finished. I was like, baby, you need to work. Like you need to get in and do it. And it was even little things like sometimes you don't want to go to a training session and you turn up and then I swim and I'm like, oh, I did it. I at least turned up. Like take the little wins, I think. Maybe that's it, yeah. Learn to take your little wins. And sometimes they'll be massive and they'll feel like, yeah, okay, you sent that email, like, good job. But that's okay. It's okay to just celebrate those small things.
Brilliant. What's your favourite part of being an entrepreneur?
Oh. Do you know what? It is at the moment telling people I'm an entrepreneur because they'd be like, what are you doing now? I'd be like, I'm an entrepreneur. It's got that, do you know what I mean? And they're like, yes, but what does that mean? And I'm just like, you'll see. Just keeping it very vague at the moment. Yeah. But no, honestly, it is, I think it's just having that freedom, that true freedom of even the title of like I'm an entrepreneur and people hear it and they're like, oh, okay. And like, you'll see. Yeah, you'll see.
Watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space.
And finally, where can people follow you online to know more about you and your amazing business?
Thank you. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Both of those are Alice Dearing X, like Alice Dearing and Lucas. Yeah. And then on LinkedIn as well, Alice Dearing OLY.
Amazing. Alice, you are incredible.
Thank you.
Good luck on the next part of your journey. Thank you. And obviously I'll be hearing more from you because you've recruited me already.
No pressure though, no pressure.
No, it's not. But it's true though. You know, I feel now that I can get into the pool and swim, I feel free. It's a bit like what you said.
It's amazing. I love hearing that. I love hearing about so many people's experience in water. It's so important to have those conversations because that's how you get more people into it.
Alice, you are amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you to those of you who are listening. Don't forget to hit follow and subscribe so you don't miss out on our next guest whose story is something you'll want to hear. Or equally, head over to the NatWest website for information and tools that help you take those next steps to success.